Good morning all. It's 29 minutes past 9. We are ready to start the day's proceedings. Please make sure that your devices are either off or on silent, but make sure they are quiet. Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Hassim. Good morning, Mr. Shongwe.
Sanborn finish.
Morning, Chair. As you can see, our witness for today is Mr. Shongwe, and he is ready to be sworn in.
Will you be taking the oath or will you be affirming?
The oath.
Please place your names on record, your full names, please.
My name is Crosby Vusi Shongwe.
Thank you. Do you swear that the evidence you are going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Shongwe, could we please begin on page, well, let me just start with this. You would have one file in front of you. It says file 1.
Yes.
And if you turn to page 7 of that file,
Okay.
you'll see that it is your statement.
Yes, ma'am.
It begins with attention, Justice M. Madlanga.
Yes.
And if you go to the end of the statement, on page 11,
I'm there.
you'll see that it's not signed by you.
Yes, yes.
But do you confirm that this is your statement?
This is my statement.
Did you prepare it?
Yes, I did prepare it.
And do you confirm the correctness of the contents of these pages?
I do confirm.
Thank you. So we are going to go slowly through the statement.
Sorry, Mr. Perhaps even if it's during the tea break, Mr. Shongwe must please sign the statement and initial all the preceding pages.
Certainly, Chair.
And end date it as well. Thank
Certainly,
you.
Chair.
Thank you.
Let's start at the beginning, Mr. Shongwe. This statement was provided by you in response to a Regulation 10.6 notice from the Commission, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And if we go to those, to that notice, it's important that we look at the notice side by side with your statement.
Okay.
Because your statement answers the questions.
Indeed.
But we need to see the questions for context. So that notice is on page 1 of the bundle. So if you could perhaps just take out page 1 to 3 and have it next to you alongside your statement.
Okay. I have it here.
You have it.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we go to the statement and the questions, can I just confirm a few things with you? You are a member of Parliament, correct?
Yes, I am.
And you are a member of Parliament representing the MK Party.
Deployed by MK Party.
And you were also a member of the Ad Hoc Committee.
Yes.
That was set up in Parliament to probe the allegations that were made by General and Mkhwanazi.
Yes, I'm an alternative member.
Pardon me?
I'm an alternative member.
You're an alternative member?
Yes.
Were you present during the hearings and the sittings of the Ad Hoc Committee?
I was.
And the reason, I just want to just begin with the purpose of your evidence today. You raised questions, many questions during the sitting of the Ad Hoc Committee, but in particular, and what's of relevance today, is that you raised questions concerning allegations against Major-General Feroz Khan. Is that right?
Correct.
And as I understand, the evidence that you want to speak to today is what followed, incidents that followed these questions that you raised in the Ad Hoc Committee. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so let's go to the statement. You begin with an apology on page 7 for the delayed submission of your statement.
Yes.
I don't know if you want to read that into the record or not. You may.
I would like to read it on the record, if it's necessary. Okay. Firstly, I would like to also add on something. Commissioners, I'm known as Tulani. So you'll find people calling me Tulani. Sometimes you'll say Vusi, and I won't respond to you because I'm known to this other name, Tulani. So just for the sake of that. I may begin by extending my sincere apologies for the delay or the delayed submission and response. Unfortunately, I missed the deadline on 2 occasions due to an exceptionally demanding workload and intense traveling commitments. And I take full responsibility for the oversight and regret any inconvenience which is maybe caused by me on delays that I've caused.
You then go on to answer the questions
Yes.
in the statement. Now, before you read paragraph 2, and what I propose we do is we go through this slowly because there's some parts in which we may need you to expand on what you say. So before you read in to the record of paragraph 2.1, the question that you are answering here is the following. Provide details of the investigative work that you allege to have been conducting in relation to Major General. The regulation refers to Lieutenant General, but that's an error.
Okay.
So I just want to correct that for the record. It's in relation, investigative work you have been conducting in relation to Major General Feroz Khan, and what prompted this investigative work. That's the first question that was posed to you in the notice.
Yes, yes.
Okay, you may read in to the record paragraph 2.1.
Okay. Indaba inje, ma'am. On the 6th of July 2025, General Mkhwanazi convened a media briefing in which he addressed matters pertaining to developments within the South African police. Prior to this briefing, General Mkhwanazi had also appeared in the National Assembly in our committee, portfolio committee, which is a standard practice that we always do. Following the media briefing, an ad hoc committee was established in Parliament to examine these matters. In conducting its work, the committee relied upon the investigative material compiled by the police, as well as documents compiled by the witnesses' statements submitted by evidence leaders and whistleblowers. It is on this basis of this body of evidence that I drew my conclusion and established the connections reflected in my submissions. It should be noted that the Ad Hoc Committee does not possess the extensive independent investigative resources and therefore necessarily relies on the material provided to it, applying analytic rigor to connect the relevant facts and evidence presented. What prompted my submission were the serious nature and gravity of the allegation leveled against General Khan. So it started there where if you may notice them, commissioners, due to this apology, as I said, that I travel a lot and I drive myself, and you compile everything on your own. So I couldn't put everything as what prompted me. If I may, I would like to put it now on record that I'm going to be telling you exactly how I got to where I was. Because there's many factors that contribute to us focusing on this name, specifically me. On the early dates of the ad hoc, we were given a chance where we submit names. And the procedure was, you'll only submit and Never. Most cases we didn't submit supporting statements on why are you calling this name, or evidence, should I say. But at some stage it changed to say you must then submit inkulumo thizeni ozoyifaka la to support this statement. At one stage, the name.
Sorry, when you're talking about names, are you talking about names of people who you intended to be called as witnesses?
Kunjalo Mkhwanazi.
Thank you.
Uma sihlela Commissioner ukubiza labantu, it was then on a list. If you can check, General Khan's name comes from EFF, where they had a list of 18 people. On that day, the list was submitted. We submitted names like our President Ramaphosa, and the other names were Padiachi, Moodley, and the likes. But as we continue, at that time when the name General Khan was mentioned, I had not focused on him. I was busy on the other names mentioned by General Mkhwanazi. But fast forward later, we have a meeting, a virtual meeting, it was on a Monday at night. Lana Corner, we discussed these names. Because of time that we were given and allocated to ad hoc, we then said, no, some of the names have to give us submission in writing. Some may come in and then we question and probe these things. But we had an argument when it comes to Malema Khan on a later stage where now the other political parties, strongly so EFF by Honorable Malema, pushes back, there's no need to call Malema General Khan. This is where now Honorable David Skosana is the one who mentions the name and gives supporting statements on why should the name be there. That drew my attention as well, because the level of business as members of MK in getting information, if I may divert a bit, we in the ad hoc, we are not the same as here, where you've got resources, where you have investigators, security and all that. We don't have such. We only have few support staff, secretary and few evidence leaders, and that's it. So any matter you bring on the table, it's up to you as a member of parliament that you get information. So at that time I was not privy to that information which Honorable David Skosana had, supported by Honorable Nomvalo. They punched the name. I was not supportive on that day. If you can check the video, I didn't even talk much on that day. But the level of embarrassment that was pushed on our name, I must look into this name. Why is there push specifically on this name? It's far less than the push Ramaphosa, the president. So I said, okay, I understand with President Ramaphosa because ANC would want to protect their president. But why can't? Then later, that's when I started looking at this thing. Then I get reminded when Ubabu Skosana gives me the gist of this thing. No, let me remind you what was Khan. And I recall what I knew the name. I knew the things that were spoken about because I grew up in the SAPS. I worked there. So I would hear certain stuff about the certain generals, and what do they do. So that started there. Uma ubheka the so-called Indian Cabal. Angiyaxolisa if ngizoba a bit racist. I hope I'm not sounding racist in part. The Indian Cabal is then a subject ekhulunywa ngayo ukuthi iyona egcwele ku-IDEC. Now, I notice ukuthi there's a certain relationship when I connect dots between Johnson, Padiachi, Khan. I also put in Paul O'Sullivan there. Brian, is it McKnight? Not mine. Brian, sorry, please remind me.
I'm not sure who you're referring
to. The commissioner that had an accident when he was drunk.
You are giving a terrible example, but I think you're probably talking about Mr. McBride.
So those people, ngicela ukusebenzisa isimageba mhlonishwa isilungu sibuye singidelay ngoba kumele ngisicabange before ngizosikhuluma, but I'll mix around. So ngaleso sikhathi leso when you check those people, about IDEC, to me, it gave me, it's a situation where for you to work at IDEC, I have to have something on you so that you perform my duties. That's how it looked in my space. Why do I get there? Khan, General Khan, has an assault case, la bekasebenza khona, ushaya i-officer, and the case is opened. That case of an assault, iyanyamalala for iskashana. Disappears, that case disappears for a while.
Do you know when that was?
I can't recall the time, but it was early years. It's one of the rumors that we got that Khan Shayinsis or Shaye somebody then. Then there was that case.
Was that in the SAPS?
In the SAPS.
But
Hawks, if I'm not wrong, it was in the Hawks.
But you yourself have not seen that
No, it's
document
remember,
already.
yes, as I say to you, in the artwork, we fully rely on what you get and how you get your information, mostly media and rumors, people talking. So those things, they need a person to sit here so that when you probe those questions, you then make facts into, is this allegation or facts? That's how we operate in our side. So when you look at that matter, it is when I'm asking Umama Winnie Mandela questions in the ad hoc.
What's her real name?
Mam Johnson. Sorry. I call it that. Mam Johnson, I ask a question, you are arresting Kumalo, General Kumalo, for hiring a lady from BMW. But you yourself, you were in a panel that interviewed your husband. Her response was, I was not in the panel. When my husband entered, I recused myself. Now in that panel, if there were 4, that means there will be 3 people in that panel. That's how she answers. She further says, I didn't know about this post. I asked Mam Johnson, it can't be true that you and your husband gets called for an interview and is not excited to tell his wife, today I got a call for an interview. It can't be. She says, no, Pella, that one she told me, and then he told me, and then it ended there. I'm like, okay, let's look at this matter forward. The husband gets caught there. He gets the post. Now, if 4 people are scoring each, the other people who came for the interview were scored by these 4 people. Let's do maths. Let's say they give them all 10. These 4 people. And then husband comes, scored by 3 people. How can the numbers surpass the numbers by 4? Didn't make sense to me. Later, there was a certain heat on this issue with her. She was in the interview. Now, General Khan in the intelligence, Gubane post the post is for a brigadier. Indoda kaMam Johnson applies lapha kwa Khan and gets the job later. The case of assault where Johnson was supposed to look at that case, apparently or allegedly, the case disappears. And there's no findings till today on that case, where Mam Johnson apparently should have been the one sitting on that case. That thing got my mind to focus there, number 1. Which, okay, there's a problem here. Is this under a situation, or maybe I'm seeing it wrong? Khan needs to come and answer. We left it there. Unfortunately,
sorry,
yes.
Is IDEC not concerned with corruption? What would its involvement have been
Yes.
in an assault case?
At that time, Nami, this thing bothered me. When this was happening, who was where and where what was happening, who was employed at where space. But it is alleged that Mam Johnson was the one who was supposed to be handling this case. That this assault case. I don't know, I can't get the facts now. What was the reason? I'm saying why I got interested in this thing, because of the allegations that are coming and the way they are coming. And then I look at the fact that I don't have those facts, mind. Let me further probe into this thing with, okay, what's the relationship?
Can I pause you there, Mr. Shongwe?
Yes.
You say that you posed questions to Ms. Andrea Johnson. She appeared before the Ad Hoc Committee on the 6th of November 2025.
Yes.
And so, and are these the questions that you posed to her, including in relation to this assault case?
Due to time, in the ad hoc I only have 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, I must get answers and questions. So some of the questions I didn't ask, but the direction of the question was this.
Okay.
But as I'm answering here, I'm answering what prompted me to focus on Khan.
I see.
My focus was on IDEC and IPID specifically, which it is now utilized as a weapon. Now, when that thing happened, which in Mam Johnson gets umsebenzi in the intelligence, it put a question mark game, which okay, I must get this story and fully understand it, which who was where, who was working where was Johnson leading, and how did it happen. But the question mark remained, which in Mam Johnson got umsebenzi, scored by 3 people. The other people were interviewed, didn't get the job, but they were scored by 4 people. Didn't make sense to me. Now, as you go forward, General Kumalo removes Khan temporarily from we position. What was that side? Just a second, Commissioner. Okay, as I'm looking, Commissioner, if I may, General Kumalo removes General Khan in the office with intelligence space from Ambuyisela back to the post which was supporting. Now, when that happens, Khan apparently didn't like that, because that position is very powerful, the intelligence one. General Kumalo takes Umamu Madondo, Fagwa Lapaya, in that space where Khan was operating. Now, you come back for me to connect these dots that I'm still connecting. It's still active on my side. General Kumalo is charged right after these things happened, where Umadondo also is charged. To me, there was a focus with that intelligence space where General Khan is operating must not be lost to them. But who charges Khan, General Khan, is IDEC. Now, IDEC charges General Kumalo on HR-related matters. In some of those video clips where she was asked, I don't know where exactly, but she was asked, is this not an HR-related matter? She replies like a prophet, which this is a state capture. In future, she sees it as a state capture in future. So it's like Kumalo is being arrested for something that's going to happen, not what is happening currently. That's how I viewed some of the interviews that I got to listen to in one stage. I wanted to ask that, but time was not allowing me. So I asked myself, if General Kumalo is arrested for the hiring of a person from externally, in SAPS there's what we call external post, where a person from outside can apply. For example, the acting Commissioner NASCOM, Commissioner Dimpane, is coming from outside of SAPS. She's not coming from the ranks of SAPS, from constable going up. She got to savings and got a higher rank. She was an accountant, if I'm not wrong. Including EPA Mahmoud Dimpane is coming from Parliament. She was at level 7. But now I think she's a brigadier, if I'm not wrong, in the SAPS. So I asked myself, why would IDEC be focused on arresting Kumalo and Madondo? So again, that connects dots for me. This is a Khan-Johnson relationship again. One must look into this matter. ukuthi why kwenzeka lokhu? What is the reason for this arrest? It didn't make sense. So even today, when we ask Umamu Johnson for the referral of arresting General Kumalo, we asked this in ad hoc. Even today, we don't have it. But where was the referral? How was this referred to IDEC? What happened? We never got the gist of this matter, including today. And the arrest, again it happened. It worries me, Commissioner, ukuthi singathatha indoda esiyithemba nge-600 million. Siyibophe bese siyikhulule siyibuyisele ekhaya sithi ayiyosebenza kulo 600 million. Ne-state security sale marsh ekhona today ye-marsh and marsh. We don't arrest this person. The reason is siyamdinga. So how important is this arrest? That's the question mark I still have. So as I said to the advocate, my statement, for me, it's still active and alive. I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Because these are questions I'm going to ask in the, in the, what you call, in the committee. Last one.
Sorry, Mr. Shongwe. I have no idea of IDEC processes, but you said you queried the issue of the referral. Yeah. How does that work? Does IDEC only take on matters that have been referred? Who does the referrals? If you could, if you do know, if you could explain that.
I know from what they said, Bon, in the ad hoc. When we were questioning Ubabu Paul Sullivan, with some of the matters that were probed with IDEC and IPID, then the referral issue comes there. There should be a referral. IDEC cannot on its own institute a case according to what they say. However, in the Kumalo saga, apparently there is no referral. It was then alleged which is going to be cooked up, but we never got it even today. We even sent letters through the committee. Now today we didn't get it. The reason for that was because we were told that IDEC doesn't go after you without the referral.
On something else, we had Mr. O'Sullivan here yesterday.
Yes.
And he disputed the fact that General Kumalo's arrest related only to HR matters. If I'm not mistaken, I think he pinned it down on alleged outright corruption. And that was the basis for the arrest. What would your comment be on that?
Ngenhlanhla Commissioner ngumhlali wase South Africa. So information ngiyithola njengawo wonke umuntu wase South Africa. Thina sonke sazi ukuba Khumalo uboshwele intombazana yase BMW. Abanye baze basola ukuthi intombi yakhe. Nayo leyo ndaba lesafuna ukuyibheka ukuthi is it true now ukuthi intombazana iqasheke ngendlela enga right. But because now we are focused on this one, we wanted to know ukuthi kwenzakalani. Why abantu abenze the very same issues about Kumalo azenzile bangekho arrested, but this one is arrested, and yet again he's so important in the country that siyakubopha siyakhulula sithi no, go work it with imali South Africa 600 million, go work with the businesses, because today if the match goes out of hand, Kumalo will be blamed. If the match is successfully guarded, Kumalo and the team will be given credit. So if that's the case, why then arrest this person, umbuyise, and trust them with such? It doesn't make sense still in a match. So it's one of those things. But I feel, hence I was, just to finish and close up this matter, then there's this guy, Sonal. There's a lot of social media that was there, which IDEC hires a warrant, a person who has a warrant of arrest.
Can you just say the name again, and where is he from?
Sonal. It was in IDEC.
Okay.
Yes. There is that on social media, it's all over before. Which IDEC hired this person who had a warrant of arrest. I later get to the docket was beat. The terms beat is lahleka docket, but lahlama docket is be. So it was then termed docket lahlekile. That had the warrant. Now, this person is also at IDEC. There's this one, Padiachi, if you may remember. Sonal was the same guy, if I'm not wrong. There was a story of 65 guns that got lost at Pedi police station. And he recovered 2. He was deemed a hero for recovering these 2 guns in the dustbin. I still have questions. Naglahleki Pamezo 65, and then 63 is gone, 62 guns are found in the dustbin. What kind of a criminal will leave guns at dustbin? So lama poisa maningi mpatwa ningla udlala ngathi masubuka le story lezi no media was utilized to flatter amagama webantwini ukuthi sibathembe sibathande. So the characters of the people there gave me a problem. While I was in the ad hoc, a businessman writes to ad hoc and also claimed that he also sent here as well, because at that time I was also CC'd on my emails. Toshan, who claims Oguchi Padiachi bagged his phone and General Kele's phone and many people. There was a case about that. But Padiachi on that case, this case disappears, somebody's arrested and takes the fall, nothing happens to Padiachi and Motley. This person writes to us in the ad hoc. This case doesn't get space in the ad hoc. So this person comes again with emails with Mr. Shongwe, you guys are also letting us down and stuff like that. So I get to call this guy and understand, in fact, what is the problem actually? Then it explains to me, no. This person also IDEC. Is this person who was bagging our phones. And the bagging of phone includes General Khan in the intelligence. So then it worried me, General Khan is a business person, has a lot of money. His salary as SAPS in Ngani, you wouldn't stay there for unless you have the love of SAPS in that way. But when you look at this thing, you understand, okay, Khan is sitting in a strategical position where he gets to know what Ubab Kumalo singamholda ngani. Singambamba ngani ukuthi masifuna ukuthi enze izinto. It to me is like an extortionist type of a way, where the allegations that also follows Ubab Sibiya ukuthi they keep dockets and then they say Fagimali Suzogadela in a protection way, kind of a way. So I saw Wutu Khan is strategically positioned in that space. And by Asebe Disana, there are 4 of them from the IDEC. That's how I got to then start searching these whole things. Unfortunately, because of that 10 minutes that I have in the ad hoc, I couldn't get to where we should go. And the fact that Khan then says, allegedly, in around our circular, Ebandwin, we won't see him in the ad hoc. He won't come in the ad hoc because he's got us in his pockets. Now, this is a township talk. That is what crossed my mind. No, not my name. So it happened in that space. I was worried. Okay, this General Khan, who happens to be in a strategical position and is so wealthy, Funane SAPS. If it's for the love of SAPS, why in the intelligence? Is he that good? So it's some of those things, yes.
So
Advocate Azim, good morning, Ms. Chong.
Babu Kumalo.
You, in passing, mentioned that you have a history in the SAPS.
Yes.
I hope I heard you correctly. Can you
Yes.
just give us that history and that background? Were you ever a policeman?
I was employed SAPS in the college space. At one stage, there was a need for SAPS members to have driver's licenses by the parliament and all that. Then we were incubated to come there. Then later trained by SAPS to be instructors in the space of advanced driving and tactical driving. I was also trained there in the assessor and moderator, which I didn't finish because of time. But I then did my 2 diplomas of examiner of vehicle and examiner of driver's license, which the state has its own DLTC. So I was then deployed.
just give a time period. When was this?
From 2006 coming up. I left SAPS 2015.
Thank you.
So, in the later years, there was a case where there were people who were employed by SAPS. Now that is us, who were instructors. Then there was an allegation that we cannot train SAPS members under the Police Act while we were not employed under the Police Act. So there was that case where we were then offered later ranks. But at that time, I decided to leave full-timing on politics and business, media space and politics.
So you were in the SAPS for about 10 years, 2006 until 2015,
more or so, yes,
2016.
more so. And I've worked in most of these colleges, Bishop Levis, Benoni, and Pretoria West of Bay.
And just out of interest, when you left, what was your rank, or was it before they gave you ranks?
The court had already pronounced on that we must get ranks from sergeant, warrants, going upwards. But that was the time I was exiting. So I never took rank. Yes.
I just want to get back to your statement. You explained with reference to incidents and rumors and allegations why you became interested in investigating Major-General Khan.
Yes.
In your statement, you give further reasons, and you say there are 4 incidents that you've cited here, in addition to what you've now expanded on in your evidence today. So if we could return to your statement, and it's at the bottom of page 7.
Yes.
And if you could just read out those last 4 allegations that you say were also part of what prompted your investigation.
The first one was the Aratin drug saga, where General Mkhwanazi clears General Khan and deems him a hero, which I still disagree with Babu Mkhwanazi. And then the second one, the alleged cover-ups relating to the murder of the makeup artist, which is on social. The second one is, the third one is the alleged cover-up relating to the murder of medical doctor, which is also in the social and around the corridors. And then the fourth one is the alleged cover-up of matters pertaining to cigarette smuggling cases.
Okay. Now, just pause there for a moment. If you go to page 44 of your bundle.
44. Is this on my statement?
No.
Okay.
This is,
Got it.
it's page 44. It's an extract from
Yes.
the Ad Hoc Committee meeting of the 5th of March, 2026. Okay, it starts at page 44, but the relevant part is on page 45. And this is during the evidence of and the questioning of Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. And you'll see halfway down the page is a question that you pose to him.
Yes.
It starts, if your life is in danger. Okay. Perhaps you should just read out that paragraph, because it corresponds with your 4 allegations.
Is this on page 45?
Page 45. This is,
Okay.
do you see it?
I see it.
It's just that one paragraph?
Yes. I said, reading from here, my life is in danger. How would you go to a house of a person you do not know? Tell me this. Is it fine? Let us leave it, okay? This is Tabanala, okay? Remember this one? And I say to him, this is to Paul O'Sullivan, you are lying. Tell me this. A facial makeup artist is shot dead, allegedly by her boyfriend, and a policeman covers up the story. Allegedly, right? Keep that in mind. 1. 2, drugs worth 300 million get stolen and lost. A case alleges that a person who is a police officer is involved in that case, and the case gets withdrawn. That is number 2. A father loses his son in hospital when a doctor was operating on that son. It is alleged that father goes and says to his friends he has shot the doctor because he lost his son through the hands of the doctor. And number 3, it is also alleged that cigarette smugglers and cigarette sellers and all that gets covers up by the same police officer. Now, the most amazing thing is this. This police officer owns multiple franchises of businesses, lucrative businesses. This person remains in the leadership, but you as a lover of South Africa never investigate that person, Feroz Khan. We cannot even get the name in here in Parliament to get that person to come here and answer. Apparently, he is being covered up and protected. Even by us, now they say we are protecting him. We cannot get him here. Why did you not investigate Feroz Khan? But you went for Pahlane, whom you do not have a single evidence of what he has done. Your statements sitting there in front of you does not have an ounce of evidence about Mr. Pahlane. Should I stop there?
Yes, you can stop there. So these are the questions that you were posing to Mr. O'Sullivan. It relates to the Ayrton drug saga. It relates to this alleged cover-up of a murder of a makeup artist, alleged cover-up of the murder of a medical doctor, and cover-up of matters relating to cigarette smuggling. Just for context, because you don't say anything more in your statement about these specific incidents, but you say that the concerns arose because of what you were reading in the media. That's where you picked these things up. So I just want to confirm that it's the same, it's these media articles that you were referring to. So if you look at page 51 of your bundle,
yes, I'm there.
you'll see there's a news report which is headed "Makeup Artist and Influencer, 39 found dead in her bedroom under mysterious circumstances." And there's a picture of the person. You see that?
Yes.
Is this the story that you are referring to?
This is one of the stories.
It's one of the stories?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's a second news report in the bundle, and that you'll find at page 47.
Yes, ma'am.
And the headline of this article is, "I had nothing to do with hit on doctor." Right? And there's a picture of the doctor on the front page who was assassinated. And then the article, as you see, refers to the allegations that it was a certain Mohammed Sayed who had ordered the hit. Is this the other story that you're referring to?
It is the story. It is the story.
And on the cigarette smuggling matters that you're referring to, is there anything that you wish to say about that to expand? Because you don't really say more about that. What are you referring to when you're talking about cigarette smuggling cases?
On the cigarette smuggling, it's the relationship between then it was alleged General Khan, pertaining from the EFF event where General Khan attended, if you may remember that, and the guy called Syed. So that story is all over most of the time when we speak in the corridors. But
So this Mohammed Sayed in this article is the Mohammed Sayed who's the director of Carney Links?
Yes, that's Syed.
Okay.
What got my attention to that story is that the relationship, politically and business-wise, there's a lot of allegations. If you may read most of the stories that you'll get on social media about Said, you'll never pass there without getting a name of Khan in the comments. If you go through any, you'll find it somewhere there. So that's the one I'm referring to. The fact that at that time, when I mentioned it here, I didn't have much knowledge of it exactly, in very intensively. But I later learned a lot of things, including the invitation that no, that means the cigarette issue is true. Because how would I be invited by the cigarette, people in the cigarette business to tell me to protect Khan in a way if this story is not true? So there's an interest there.
Okay, so that's going to bring us to the 8th of March.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just pause on that because you're going to come to that in a statement, and then you can expand on the people with whom you met. Let's go to page 8 of your statement.
I'm there.
Could you read from the top of this page?
Further to the above, I was also prompted by the fact that certain members of the Ad Hoc Committee did not see the necessity of summoning General Khan for questioning during the process of compiling the list of individuals to be invited before the committee. Two names in particular were at issue, namely President Cyril Ramaphosa in relation to Phala matter and General Khan. Should I continue?
Yes.
In the case of President Ramaphosa, I understood from the political standpoint that he would be likely be shielded by the process by his party, ANC. However, with respect to General Khan, I could not understand their reluctance to call him before the committee, particularly given the weight and seriousness of allegations that have been formulated and tabled against him.
Yes, so you've given us quite a detailed explanation of those paragraphs, so you can move on to the next.
I was further prompted by the allegation that General Khan is a multimillionaire and a businessman of considerable means, yet he seeks to remain in employment within the SAPS, specifically within the intelligence division. This raises serious question as the motivation behind his continued presence in such a sensitive and strategically significant position within the services.
Okay, you can pause there. So before you go on to 2.2, the question that was asked of you was what were the findings of this investigative work, all of these incidents that you've referred to this morning, which came to you through social media, through people reporting things to you,
Yes.
To the evidence that was coming out of the Ad Hoc Committee. So the question is, what were the findings, what were your findings of your own investigative work? So you can read 2.2 in response to that question.
In undertaking this investigation, my primary objective was to establish the truth regarding the allegation leveled against General Khan. However, due to the failure to appear before the committee, I was regrettably unable to arrive to the determination of the facts and the truth in this matter, therefore remains unestablished.
Okay. You say in this paragraph, due to his failure to appear before the committee, but it wasn't that he failed to appear, it was that he was not called. I just want to get the context right.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So he didn't appear, but it's because he was not called.
If I may elaborate on that, we somehow have not exactly a voting system in the ad hoc, but somehow a weight balance agreement of who do we want there. Now on that day, if you can add MKP numbers with DA and ANC, we would outnumber other parties and get General Khan in that seat. The only thing is that on that day, Honorable Malema was the most vocal in not getting General Khan to come there. But I can tell you, Uti, the other parties sided with him, with the EFF, not with him, with EFF, in not allowing us to get Khan to come there.
Okay.
Yes.
So the upshot of all of that was that he was not called.
Yes.
All right, thanks. Now we get to the crux of your statement in 2.3. And I just want to take you to we'll come there. You raised these questions on the 5th of March. Paula Sullivan, we went there in the record, right?
You mean in the ad hoc?
In the Ad Hoc Committee, yes.
Okay. I don't recall the dates.
These
but-
questions about General Khan and these allegations. But you had also previously raised questions when...
Sarah Jane Trent was crying the whole day.
Okay. So now comes 8th of March. The question was to you to explain the events of 8th of March regarding the request for a meeting with you, which led to a telephone call between you and Major-General Khan.
Okay.
Now, I know that there's some complexity to that question. It wasn't a direct call between you and
Me and-
Major-General
yes.
Khan. So can you start with 2.3.1 on page 8 to explain those events?
Okay. I had received a call from the PA of the president, former president, who then told me, Wuti...
And her name is?
Sorry. I don't know whether I should mention... Can I not mention the name? Just
Well, she has provided a statement.
Oh, she has?
Yes.
Okay, her name is Londiwe. Londiwe Kulu.
And
Londiwe who?
Kulu.
Thank you.
Yes.
Is that XULU?
Yep.
And if you turn to page 15 of your bundle,
15.
1.5,
Yes.
you'll see at that page, from page 15 to page 22, sorry, not 22, 24,
I see the statement.
there's a statement, and you read the statement of Mkhulu, right?
Yes, I just read it, yes.
Okay. All right, you can go back to your statement.
Okay. I received a call from UPA Gababa to say there were people that came to see the former president. Sorry? Okay, good. Thank you, Commissioner. I received a call from UCC and telling me, Wuti, there were people who came to see the president and they were interested in seeing me. Now, if I may just explain on that one, this thing happens kakulu. We've gained, I don't know how to call it in English, but ngesizulu uthando from abantu in the ad hoc, where people view us as people who didn't shy away from the truth, as dangerous as it sounded. So, because mostly they can't get directed to us, and they have access, some have access to Baba, some don't, specifically business people. A lot of business people have came to Baba and said, hey, Sabatanda Labafana. They are doing very well and we would like to help last and later on. So we've been assisted by certain business after they seen our stance in the ad hoc. Which, okay, you guys need a push because you're working in a direction where you're not shying away from this. So I've been called by Sis Londion many times, and some go to Baba and says Funubono Shong, and then they just call me in. So this is one of those incidents where I was told that I must come and get Funega. I then, I was in Cape Town, if I may remember very well. I had left Durban days before, and I had left my car at the airport. So I flew to Cape Town. I was in Cape Town for, I think, two days or so. Then I was called to come back. So then I flew to Durban for this one.
Okay, and to be clear, that the request for you to go to Durban was the call you received from the former President Zuma's PA?
Yes.
Requesting you to come to
Yes.
Durban?
Yes.
Okay. But who made the request for the meeting that took place on the 8th of March? Because the meeting was not going to be with President Zuma,
No.
right?
I will explain later that part of President Zuma in the meeting, because I later find out that he was not even aware himself why I'm going there. But the call was made by Sis Londiwe to me,
Right.
saying that there's two gentlemen that came and they had requested to see me. They also requested Gubaba to see me. She's the one who told me to come, and then I went.
Okay.
Yes.
And then in 2.3.2, you explain who the two gentlemen are.
Yes.
And who are they?
It was Yusuf Gachi and Imran. I don't know in Imran's surname.
If we go to the PA's statement, I said it starts at page 15, but she includes an attachment, and she corroborates what you say about the meeting.
Yes.
Just to try to establish the surname of the gentleman you refer to. She doesn't refer to the surname in her statement, but if you look at page 35, it's in her annexures. She annexed WhatsApp conversations between her and the two individuals.
You
Okay.
mean on her WhatsApps? 'Cause I see-
Her own WhatsApp
Yes, okay,
communications.
I see
It
that.
starts at page 33.
Yes, yes.
So you'll see there it's a conversation between her and Mr. Yusuf Kaji. And in fact, that begins on the 6th of March.
Okay. Yeah, I see
Right.
the WhatsApps here.
Yes, so it starts on the 6th of March, not on the 8th of March, when you were called. So he approaches her on the 6th of March. And if you look at the bottom of that page, on page 33, he says, "Hello, darling, thank you for your immense help. Which day am I meeting our brother in Johannesburg?" Do we understand that to be you?
Because of the video on this screenshot, I would presume they're talking about me because I see the hello darling, then my face. I think I would allege it's a video because there's time frame there. And then because of this, I think it's me.
Okay. Have you seen that video clip? Do you know what this video clip is about?
I've seen a couple of videos of me, but this one, if I may recall, I think I was questioning Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, but on her phone, I didn't know she had this video.
Okay. And then if you look at page 35,
Okay, I'm there.
it's the copy of an extract of the WhatsApp conversation between her and a gentleman named, well, she has him saved as follows: Imran C.K. Baba. Do you know whether, does that ring a bell? Is that his surname, or do you know?
No, I don't know. It's first time here seeing this Imran Baba, but I think, if I may just think at the top of my head, I would say maybe it's a reference, Imran for Baba or Imran Baba. I don't know whether it's a surname. It might be a surname because in Indian people it's also a surname. So I'm
Yes.
not sure. But I've never, when the guy introduced himself to me, he never said his name. It's
never-
only Kachi that said his name to me.
Okay.
Yes.
Just before we leave this page, you'll see it's dated 8 March 2026. Okay?
Okay,
And
which is the day?
at 10:32 in the morning, she says, "Morning, Imran, he will be landing at 11:40 a.m." Is that the time at which you were due to land?